1. I'm a 31-year-old female, and regularly travel by bus to see my fiancé who lives in France, until we settle down together next year. The problem is that I have a few psychological disorders that can complicate things, including schizophrenia, Tourette's, and social phobias, including a phobia of babies. So I never travel without my medication, a headset that insulates me from ambient noise, and a little stuffed animal. A little fox that helps me stay calm and manage my various crises, named Bidulia. I can't learn to drive due to both my physical and mental health issues, not to mention it's way cheaper. But with every bus ride comes some adventures. Saturday was the day I'm going home with an 8-hour bus journey from Paris to Belgium ahead of me. I have everything I needed. No big deal, I can do it, I thought. The problem for me is the presence of a toddler with her mother. A child's screams and cries are very hard for me to hear, but I thought the bab was just plain bored because she didn't have anything with her. No toys, no plushies, her mother was constantly on the phone. For a baby, it's a long time in her seat with nothing to do. So I turned the volume up a little, being 3 rows behind the mother and her daughter, who was getting more and more agitated and is now screaming. From what I heard from other passengers, her diaper was full, and her mother couldn't change it, even though the driver assured her that if need be, he'll stop at the nearest freeway service area to allow the mother to give the daughter the necessary care. The child screamed and cried for more than 159 kilometers, that's around 98 miles, and her mother did nothing. Remember the fox stuffed animal? When I'm not stimming with it or holding it, I put it in my shirt so its head pops out. I took it with me to the bus toilet. Not the most hygienic thing to do, I agree, but I needed it to not have a breakdown because of my anxiety. Keep her in my shirt, and then put her on my belt until I'm back in my seat. Walking past the mother and her screaming child, who started yelling as if she broke a bone or something. And honestly, even I, who was afraid of children, started to worry. I took Bidulia back in my hands, look out of the window, and the little girl's mother comes up to me and takes Bidulia out of my hands, saying, "Hey, can I have her? The kid's got a crush on it and he's having a fit." What? No, I answered the mother politely, and asked if she'd be willing to give up her child's stuffed toy to calm someone else's tantrum or even tears. She says, "No, of course not. But she wants it, and she's not going to stop crying until she gets it. It's okay. You can buy another one." I reached for Bidulia. She clenches her fingers on it. I heard a creak and feared it's damaged. Rising in anger and anxiety, I got up from my seat, telling her that if she wasn't capable of handling an 8-hour journey with her toddler on a bus, she should think again, reminding her of what the driver had said. So I took my plushie back, telling her that she just had to organize herself better, and not think that as soon as her daughter points at something while crying, she's going to get it, especially if it belongs to someone else. Even more so if it belongs to someone with mental disorders. She called me racist and an effing goth due to my clothing style, and went back to her seat. What a way to get back home, eh? 2. My wife's mother has been a malignant narcissist her entire life, to the point where she ended up not going to our wedding because she didn't want to go to the city we both live in. I even offered to drive her here and put them up in a nice house for the week of the wedding. And she decided to surprise us with a wedding that she threw on the same day as our wedding, without telling us ahead of time. Anyway, after almost a year of not speaking, she and my wife are trying to have a relationship. I'm not in favor because I have seen how she treats my wife, but my wife is a grown-up and I have to support her. A little over 6 months ago, my parents decided to give us their house, my childhood home, and we've been remodeling it. We moved in earlier this month, and my wife, with my blessing, invited her parents to stay for over a week so they could see their grandkids. We have twins, a boy and a girl, named Luke and Leia, and the city we live in. Everything went fine until breakfast this morning, when over coffee, my wife's mom, mother-in-law from now on, drops a bombshell on me. "So, OP, when I had my children, I wanted them so someone could take care of me when I get old." There's some history behind this, related to why she fought so hard against my wife and I's relationship, but that's another story for another time. I take a sip of coffee and wait to see where this is going. So, since you took her away from me, I think you should be responsible for me too. So, starting tomorrow, I'm going to live in your guest room, the room they'd been using for the last week. I need you to drive me back to our province so we can pack up our things. I don't follow. Since you married my daughter, I only have one son to take care of me. It's only fair that since you took her, you now have the responsibility to take care of me. Mom, I think you should pack, said my wife. No, you married this handsome Filipino man. Not the word she used. I should at least get some benefits. Mom, that's enough. We invited you to stay the week so you could meet your grandkids. But now I'm starting to see that this might have been a mistake. I think we need to go, I say to the mother-in-law. I'll take you back to your province, but you're not going to live here. So here's the current situation. Mother-in-law is locked in the guest room packing, but we suspect that she's planning to squat in the room. Whenever we knock, she starts crying hysterically about how she is going to die old and alone, how my wife is a bad daughter for not supporting her mom, and how I'm a bad son-in-law, because despite having money and a nice house, I'm not supporting her, etc. I'm on the phone with my cousin. He lives down the street from us, and his dad is a justice in the Supreme Court, so hopefully we can get the police to trespass her, and we're working out a response. We could have taken the door off its hinges, called the cops, etc. All solutions that end with my mother-in-law in the news or a police blotter somewhere. I'd like to avoid that. Just sending her back home is enough to keep her away, since it's pretty far and she's only been to my city twice. This is the second time. The end of the story ultimately isn't as juicy as the story itself. My cousin's father, my uncle and godfather, sent over a police captain, who brought 4 police officers with him. The police managed to coax her out of the room and escorted her to the station, where a police vehicle from her province was waiting to bring her and my father-in-law home. The local captain didn't log the incident in the blotter, which keeps it off the books. 3. So I work at a luxury gym that has an indoor and outdoor pool area. There's a lot of entitlement there. I'm just going to list a few experiences. In the indoor pool during the summer, I wore my sunglasses indoors because I liked people not being able to see my eyes. But it's an advantage, so I don't do that anymore. The child's mom said, "I'm watching you, the lifeguard isn't watching you." Meanwhile, I made eye contact with him 10 seconds prior when I was fixing my hair. Her son goes, "Yes, she is." And the mom chuckled and said, "No, she's not." I kinda regret doing this, but I pretended not to hear anything. I think it was the end of my shift and I was too tired to care. I'm gonna tell this in chronological order. So, my manager is really nice. She goes above and beyond to make the members and their kids happy. This morning, she was thanking me for being a part of the team and just saying really nice things. The outdoor cafe was closed, but she was handing out popsicles. I was on the chair, but my work bestie came to me in shock, explaining that a lady had just been really mean to my manager. She was mad that she couldn't use her inflatable thing to keep her baby afloat. They're dangerous, and the lifeguard told her that they're not allowed. My manager goes to offer her and her baby a popsicle, but the lady snaps, "Get out of my face!" I was shocked. I was then on my downtime, so I go fold towels, but this lady was like 10 feet in front of me. I was so angry with her, but I kept my mouth shut. She said to her baby in a baby voice, "That lady right there is a mean lady. She wouldn't give us a popsicle." So I was under the impression my manager, rightfully, said no. This woman crossed a big line. I wanted to stand up for my boss, but it was risky. Customer service is a big part of the company. I thought, I don't even care if I'm getting fired for this, it's so wrong. I say, maybe it's because you were super mean to my manager. And she turns around, "Excuse me?" I don't remember much, but it was bickering back and forth. She had one brain cell, so it was hard to converse with someone that stupid. She even said, "I get it. You're like a star employee." I forgot what she said after that because it's hilarious she thought I was only doing it to kiss up to my boss. I would do that to anyone I'm close with. My supervisor told me to go to the office and that he'll handle it. My manager called me in and I was scared. That was one of the best risks I've taken because she was so happy I stood up for her, but she said, "Don't do it again though, we could get in trouble." She's getting her membership revoked though. Let's stalk her. And we went to look up her house on Google Earth. On my first day it was already a struggle. If you don't know what a life jacket is supposed to look like when it fits properly, if it's digging into the child's armpits because of the buoyancy, like kickboards, and it's pretty painful. I noticed this in a little boy, so I let this mother know. They were right by my chair. The mom was resistant at first, but then was like, fine. I was already uncomfortable. She attempts to tighten the straps. Somehow she didn't know how to do that. I was about to use my walkie so someone could help her until she exclaims, "So are you going to help me or what?" I was shocked nobody had ever talked to me like this before. I grew up getting bullied, even into college. I was shy, so I let it happen. Until my sorority sisters were so mean to me I swore I would never let anyone talk to me like that again. I had the choice to stand up for myself or reward her ugly behavior. My face went completely blank, and I stare at her dead in the eyes. It's on this strap. So at that point I realized this lady was just a bitch, and let her make that choice as a parent. They move away from me. They were talking pretty quietly, so I know they were talking shit about me. That was confirmed when the daughter yelled out, "Shh, you're being too loud," to the son. So, like 10 minutes later, I hear her son say, "Mommy, my armpits hurt." The look in her face. She was so angry she dragged her son by his hand to the kid area, and then stormed back to her husband. 4. It's always a pleasure to wake up to your own entitled and very narcissistic dad yelling and blaming you for something that you clearly have no control over. In this case, my mom's car engine not starting, and he had to jump-start it, before waking her up to keep an eye on it, while dropping me off at work and ranting at me for not getting up early to check on her car. I'm already getting up at 8 a.m. to get ready for work, and it's not my job to get up extra early just because he wants me to. Just because he'd like to get up extra early on the weekends and make a ton of noise and not respecting the rest of us needing sleep, while I'm working the weekends and rarely get the weekends off due to job restrictions that require me to be available to work weekends. After getting bitched out and getting my head bitten off by him and getting to work, I'm already physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausted. Because my dad is a literal energy vampire when he bitches me out, and I am left feeling exhausted for hours. It didn't help that I ended up accidentally breaking down not too long after I started working, and luckily I was able to talk it out with a coworker, but ended up breaking 2 glass cups when trying to assist a different coworker while serving drinks to her guest, but I got it cleaned up. So I spent literally my entire shift feeling drained and not able to focus on work, due to being so drained by my short-tempered, egotistical dad, who believes it was my fault for not realizing that my mom's car door wasn't closed all the way, thus it needed to get a jump start. Like I didn't have enough distress in my life already, from them bitching about random things and trying to get me to quit my job because I'm not getting paid enough, and trying to convince me to work with them like I'm going to become a billionaire overnight or something. As if living with them isn't stressful enough. I'd rather get fired from a job on my first day than work side by side with them, because I know they're just going to criticize me or bitch and moan about how slow I am at working. Okay, this is enough of my rant, but I do hate getting bitched at first thing in the morning due to stupid things like this, because it distracts me severely and drains the fuck out of me. 5. I'm Go in the Garden Center registers, and most of my shift was uneventful. That was until the couple with their entitled kid of a son came along. The mom was very kind and didn't want any trouble. The dad was barely paying attention, nor did he want to be there, and their son, the entitled kid, was just squirming about. not wanting to sit still. Mom was taking things out of the cart or moving things around so I can scan the items. Then I came across an item that refused to scan. So I hand-typed it into the scan gun. Hopefully it would go through. As I'm doing this, the kid noticed and started listing off the numbers in order. Then when I typed a different number, he got mad and started getting fussy.
Mama, she didn't type the number in order.
That's because she's doing her job and she's making sure these numbers, points to the barcode, go through so we can pay and leave.
But she has to type the number in order if she's wrong.
He was about 10 years old, so I didn't blame him and just ignored his yelling. After I finished scanning everything, I placed my scan gun back in its charger and walk away to help another customer who needed help at the other register that was set to self-checkout. When I come back, I notice the scan gun was off its charger, and I start looking around for it. Then I hear the beep of the buttons being pushed. I see the kid was holding it, and he was clicking random buttons on it. Hey, excuse me, but I'm going to need that back.
No, it's mine now. You don't know how to use it.
I need it for work, and without the charger, it's going to run out of battery and die. The kid tries to hide it, but the mother takes it away from him and hands it back, before apologizing for her son's behavior. Then tells the father to take the kid to the car while she finishes paying. As we're doing this, I hear another customer talking, and I assumed she was talking to whoever she was on the phone with. Until I hear, "Hey, where are you taking that?" The nice mother and I turn around to see the kid running away with the other register's scan gun in his hand. The mother apologizes to me again, before taking off after her son. Luckily, the scan gun doesn't need to be at the registers for it to work, and the other customer was able to finish. But I watch as the nice mother runs to their car, reaches inside the back seat, and grabs the scan gun back from the kid, who chases her out trying to take it back, and I hear faintly from the nice mother, "No, how many times did I tell you that you don't take what isn't yours? Now get back in your seat until I get back." The kid was now throwing a full-blown temper tantrum in the parking lot, while the oblivious dad was just oblivious to everything that was happening around him. It wasn't until the mother demanded the dad grab the kid so she can finish paying that he finally did something. "I'm very sorry about that. He's just very fussy because he hasn't had his afternoon nap yet. I hope he didn't break the gun when he dropped it." I checked the scan gun over by using it to scan my barcode. It's fine. Just a small dent, but still usable. I understand why he's fussy. I have to deal with fussy cousins and siblings to miss their naps too. The nice mother finishes paying and takes their things to the car, where I can still hear the kid screaming about wanting the scan gun. The mother just tells him to stop whining and gets into the car before taking off. I felt bad for the mother because she was so nice while the kid was being naughty, and the oblivious dad was doing nothing to stop the kid from acting up. I hope the kid has learned to be more respectful to others and not take what doesn't belong to him, because I can tell the mother was very embarrassed and probably was very stressed out. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to The Impractical Proudness of Parents. Ipop, episode 119. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. Before you go, please do hit that like button, thank you kindly. And if you'd like to get the videos a little bit early, then you can do that by supporting the channel on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Doesn't sound like much, but if I could get $1 even once a year off every subscriber, I wouldn't have to run ads. Wouldn't that be interesting? Okay, let's see. You can also support me by buying Hellfreezer merchandise. The link to my shop is in the description. And you can make donations during streams or videos like this one. Well, you don't have to. I do appreciate it, and it helps me out. Okay. No other business today. I don't think no other business. So let's move right along to Hellfreezer's question of the day. And today's question is: whenever you encounter silly changes in the wild, like when you're out buying groceries, that sort of thing, are you the kind of person that would complain about it to staff who can't really do anything, ask for a manager, or do you grumble about it inwardly but then just comply with the new rules? I'm likely just to grumble about it inwardly and then get on with my day because, quite frankly, I just don't have time to waste on it. Like, if grocery stores all start checking receipts, fine, check the receipt, whatever, doesn't matter. I've seen some stores are experimenting with having a gate that has to be opened by a member of staff. Now, some of the stores I go into do have those gates, but they open automatically at present. And again, that would be very annoying and insulting, but yeah, again, whatever. I don't have time to waste arguing with you. Just do it, move on, whatever. But that's my thoughts on it. Other opinions are welcome and valid, so let me know what you think in a comment below. And with that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.